Tots here, Jasmine Allure, and if you want to have an alluring time, you better watch Countdown City WrestleCast.
What is up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast.
Mosh pit, my glasses off. Hold on.
Okay, yeah,
I'm good. I'm okay.
I'm your host, JC. Joining me, hopefully still alive down there, is that guy, Tommy.
Yeah, just have a slight concussion. Hey, guys.
And looking refreshed because he's off for a week, we got Big Mike.
What's up, guys? You know what? I kind of miss Jasmine Allure. Remember that time she was in RCW and Callie cost her a title win by becoming a wrestler after being a referee? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Well, Callie has ruined everything since becoming a wrestler, so you know.
I agree. What is up, Angel?
Bro, Chacho.
Good to see you, Sean Bernsey.
What is up, everyone? Everyone popping in. Thanks for joining us for a special Monday episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. It is Thanksgiving week, so you know, family things going out of town. It kind of changes things around for us. But anyway.
Welcome to Raw is Countdown City. Yeah, it doesn't work. It does not work.
It could work.
It does not work.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to spend some time today recapping everything that went on this past weekend. There was L-Town Throwdown in Lytle. There was AEW Full Gear. There was RCW Acceleration.
Tommy, is JC's video for... Okay, I was like, is that mine or... Okay.
No. Give me a second.
It's okay. There was a lot of local wrestling this weekend.
Yeah, there was so much wrestling it broke JC's camera.
Yeah. And now I got to switch the camera speed here. Just give me a second.
Hilarious.
Stupid thing. Anyway, y'all can still hear me, right?
Yeah,
yes.
I hear you.
Okay,
so, yeah.
I mean, no, we can't. That's weird.
Right. Hey, I'm back. Anyway, we're also going to preview two shows happening Thanksgiving weekend. TNA Turning Point. Yes, they're having an Impact Plus show. First event after Bound for Glory is Friday, Black Friday. And we'll be talking about WWE Survivor Series. Say it with me, guys.
War Games. Sorry.
Yes. Shout out.
I was slightly totally taught on that one.
Media before her match. Yes, good stuff. So, before we jump into all that, let's talk a little bit of wrestling news. It is official as of January 1, 2025. WWE Network will officially be no more anywhere else. And I know we haven't had it here in the States for a while because we've been on Peacock, but in other areas of the world, it was still a thing while they were trying to get those rights sold. And now pretty much everywhere but the US, it's going to Netflix on January 1. And
I still have so many mixed feelings about how this is going to work.
Yeah, pretty sure. Well,
get ready for a 5-hour Raw. Not because that's how long the show's going to actually have wrestling. It's just by the time the buffering and streaming issues get fixed, you know.
Yeah, you know, I think the funniest meme I've seen about it is if the Monday Night Wars ended in the modern era, you have WCW on Max, no problem, no issues, and then on the Raw feed, it's just a buffering logo.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a side-by-side split.
Can we go ahead and kick Sean out of the comments right off the bat?
Can we ban him like permanently?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to.
There's a lot of wrestling to catch up on. In addition to that, before Raw tonight, they revealed the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So,
okay, can I ask, why did the U.S. title get revealed first? That seems kind of backwards, if you ask me.
Because Friday comes before Monday, obviously.
Okay, well, all right, sure. That's.
I
but look, I got nothing else better than that, so sure, why not? Okay.
Yeah. So,
Sean.
Yeah. So that's what's going on here. Obviously, a lot to discuss. There's a lot that could change for War Games for Friday, but as of right now, there's only 5 matches. When we talk about that, we'll get to it.
Well, yeah, they're not in Saudi, so they don't know, don't have the money.
Yeah,
to do the match.
that's true. That's true. But we can talk about a couple of the local events that took place this past weekend. First, we'll start with the action in Lytle on Saturday night. Mike, you attended that, correct?
I did.
Yeah, and gotta ask, past experience with small towns getting wrestling. How is the crowd out there at Lytle?
They're actually pretty good. Like they're into it and their stuff. It's interesting because the Texas wrestling multiverse, even hybrid slightly changes in Lytle.
Mm-hmm.
And certain people are slightly different.
It's because of the portals.
Apparently so.
Is it one county over? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if y'all followed my socials, but living in fashion, a little more heelish when they're in Lytle. Apparently, the idea of small towns and LGBTQ are not a great mix, but I was attacked by Zakai right on the entrance. Like, I'm not even sure why. Angel was right behind me, and she was witness to this. Although after the show we did talk, and apparently he wasn't trying to destroy my camera that was right on him. He was apparently trying to grace my camera with a selfie, which apparently would have increased the value of my phone, which I guess makes sense.
As if phones aren't expensive enough nowadays.
Exactly.
I don't think I don't think I have one picture of him with me and him where he's smiling. I just thought of that. I don't think.
And I mentioned this to you also, but he also thanked me for not bringing you.
I had
to the show.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
You know, hybrid guys are a bunch of jerks.
Yeah, and that's another thing, JC, that I think you would appreciate. Devin also playing the heel over there claimed he was from the town of Natalia and brought out like a Lytle Natalia feud, like a good old cheapy.
I love it. It's look, there's nothing bigger than a small town rivalry, especially when it comes to like high school football, high school sports.
Wow,
and I have you guys know I coach softball, so I have I've had coach girls that are from Natalia, and believe me, they, in addition to playing in San Antonio with the team, they have their Natalia Little League, and it always ends up being Natalia versus Lytle, even at a young age, going head to head for a Little League championship. So it is pretty epic. I'm glad they brought that up. Way to do your research, guys. So, yeah.
And then also Angel behind us got attacked, almost by a pillar who made a beeline straight for her out of the entrance. I don't know what the word was for their entrance, because we were kind of sitting like right their entrance coming right toward us.
Yeah.
So several of those. But yeah, it was a really good show, at least early on. Dead Man's Hand is a nice little group that's coming together with Hybrid. That's Jesse James, Eric Walker, and Jay Young, and also Key Vibes, who joined them last weekend at the show when they took on the Treats and Reagan Lydell, and they beat the Treats last weekend. This weekend they beat Armani Sage, Rilo King, and Zakai. Sean, I don't think I stayed the whole night. I'm not sure what happened at the end. I think Diego was like dating several women or something. I'm not exactly what all happened there.
Short of him paying them, impossible.
Well, Casey, we're gonna get to that. That is definitely a true thing.
Casey. Oh boy. Don't tease me with the
okay, James. The fact that you're gonna
Dead Man's Hand or cheat. Okay,
yeah, see, this is what the Treat fans do. They project onto other people.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, the other teams are cheaters. The other teams are the ones breaking the rules. When I don't know the last time the Treats won a match that wasn't involved with treating. So, oh my God, bro. Yeah, I know that was the other thing, right?
The chat is blowing up here. I'm just gonna overlay this at this point. So
the chat is blowing up.
Diego, someone yelled at Diego, that girl's too pretty for you, and he turned around and said, "No way, I'm too pretty for her." So clearly, he's playing this poor young lady, the daughter of the bakery pub owner. Very sad. Yes, Jason. Also, my phone has been grabbed multiple times. In fact, I'm trying not to mention her name as often, because apparently when I do, I get lectured on how I'm being mean to her and how it's actually not her fault that she's ever done anything wrong. But yes, also tried to grab my phone again this weekend. I guess we can talk to Josh. There you are in the chat. Yeah, we're sorry, man. Diego is quite the scoundrel. We're sorry for whatever brainwashing he's done to your daughter. Hopefully y'all can mend that relationship.
PGTK podcast. Welcome to the Countdown City WrestleCast. Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah,
Joining us.
Yeah, it was good to see you. We saw you at the yard last weekend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good to see you.
Not all who wander are lost.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes, so yeah.
James, if this is something you want to explain to Diego yourself, man,
James, you were also at that show, like trying to literally protect Don Juan in a hardcore anything goes match. And honestly, if y'all see the video of that, it was kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
So after all that, did Hybrid reveal when their next show is going to be? Because we haven't really gotten a
They have.
schedule beyond that. Oh, okay.
Hold on. Also, here's the official. So I was slightly off with my paraphrasing up. I'm ugly, but she's way uglier. I'm the best she's gonna get. That's horrible.
That is one of the most demeaning things I've ever heard in my life.
That was
wow.
That was horrible.
At least you admit you're ugly.
Wow. I'm the best.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So
sorry, my brain
everyone's
broke.
kind of
Okay.
taking a break for the holidays, except Hybrid, thankfully. Otherwise, we'd have to go a couple months without wrestling.
Yeah.
December 21st,
that would drive
they
me
are
crazy.
having a rock and roll. I think it's like a rock and roll Christmas because
Is this their toy drive show?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
They are bringing back Ricky Morton with his son, Kerry Morton. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So, December 21st, back at the school, back at good old Eckert. I forget the address, actually.
And Ricky Morton, for those who've never been in attendance with it, he's at a show live, and if you haven't, how dare you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is a delight. Every single time I see that dude, he is just a treasure.
They brought, was it last year or earlier this year? They brought him in. Maybe.
I think it was earlier this year.
Super cool. Like, love talking. Was so complimentary of the students and the school, and one of those vets who's actually real positive still about wrestling and where it's at. So that's good to see him.
Nice.
He's even on social media, like he's positive about the business, which is a rarity. So he's like one of the old school guys. It's like, hey, wrestling's doing great right now. And it's like, he's breaking a rule, isn't he? He's talking positive about current wrestling on social media.
That is crazy. But just a few more things from Lytle. K-Jax facing Lytle apparently. The Pillars. It was, but the Pillars are being very heelish. K-Jax and Jet Black were actually, the crowd got behind them. Then the Pillars were just beating people up because apparently they're mad or upset. I don't know.
Because they can.
Yeah, part of that too.
Yeah.
There was a really good triple threat: Key versus Celine versus Ridley. I might have yelled "Friendship Ruiner" at Celine. I don't remember. It was a very emotional night with a lot of things.
Yeah.
We tried to clear the air at RCW the next night.
But
also, I don't know if we've told the story before, but there's someone training at Hybrid now that way back in January at the Wow Women of Wrestling show. We ran into this guy in line, and then when we got inside, he had just moved, I think, for the military, and he was like interested in wrestling, wanted to train. And we're like, well, the guy who owns Hybrid is right here. Like, do you want to meet him? He's like, oh wow, yeah. And so like we introduced him to Marvel, and now he's training and he's at the shows, and so it's real cool to see him there. He was at Lytle, he was at RCW. Devin Carter hated all of us in Lytle, James. I mean, it's he did have the no straight shirts on, and I mean, what are you gonna do? So it's really cool. But Lytle, other than the fact that it ended not the way we would have liked. It was a fun show.
Yeah.
Hey, Josh. Oh, Josh wants the rematch with the Cage. And we just saw a Cage in RCW, so we know it's available.
Interesting. He says L-Town Throwdown 3. Like, is that official? Do we have a date for that? What's going on? So I mean,
hopefully sometime early
I said we make
early
it
in
official right now.
2025. We're down to go back. That's a cool place. The bakery pub is nice. They got a food truck across the street. Light is a cool little town. Boo, Natalia! I don't know. I'm not sure.
Hopefully my schedule will be clear next time.
Angel.
Wow.
I mean, that's fair, but like, just because I am, like, I support. I'm an ally. I support Devin all the time.
And me being straight's not a reason to hate me. Look at all the other valid reasons you have. Like, I mean, there is so much stuff to hate about me, and you picked the fact that I'm straight. That's like a waste of like the 80 other.
Oh, I mean, no date. He says no date, but it will happen. So, we will be waiting.
Must already be in talks. They might be negotiating.
There you go.
I mean, they did reveal L-Town Throwdown 2. Don Juan did with the treats at one point on this show. So maybe, I don't know.
Oh God, does that mean
that's why there's a week I cannot remember? I blacked that out so hard. That is crazy.
Yeah.
I hate him so much.
It sounds like a good show. Let's move into what took place on Saturday locally, and that was RCW Acceleration. Sunday, excuse me.
Sunday, because we forget what. No, don't worry, because I keep forgetting
today is.
I legitimately.
Saturday was a long day for me.
No, I can't lie. The fact that we're doing the show now, I have like fast forwarded my brain to 4 days, and like everything you guys said yesterday, I'm like, what happened yesterday? Oh wait, yesterday was Sunday. Yeah. I'm
well,
so
RCW itself took place. I'm gonna hide the chat for now, but Sunday at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. Which it's always funny to me every time that I can recall RCW doing a cage. It always happens to be in like a church gym. There was Bel Air Baptist Church. I don't think they ever did.
Bel Air Baptist was the other one I couldn't think of.
Yeah, Bel Air Baptist. They've had it. That was where they had the electrified cage, if I'm not mistaken.
What was the soccer? Not the Marbach one, but the downtown. There was like an indoor soccer one near the dome, kind of.
Yeah,
there was a cage there for something once.
It was hot as hell. That's all I remember, but I don't even know if that place is still there. So,
dude, the
one on Marbach is now indoor.
What do you call it?
Trampoline.
Expensive as hell to have a birthday party there. Let me tell you. Anyway.
Really? Oh wow.
So RCW Acceleration, Good Shepherd, War Games. Personally wasn't able to attend, but I know you guys were there.
This might have been the best RCW show of the year, which is saying a lot, and potentially for the last couple of years. This was stacked from top to bottom. Way too many matches where we had to choose between two people we really liked, and that was no fun. But yeah.
James said something that I actually have to say with respect, sir. There were two matches of the night because they were.
James,
that was one.
I know. I mean, I know what you're going to say, Tommy, because I wanted to be so bad, but that second one, and maybe the 2 out of 3, kind of added to that element of it. But yeah, there were multiple match of the year candidates on this show, and we're not even including War Games or the international title cage match. Just regular one-on-one matches, which were also pretty crazy in their own way.
Very good. Yeah, I'm so happy that Diego Rene is no longer international champion. It's finally over. Dobby is a free hell at last.
I want to share something with you, though, JC, because
at last, it's gone. It's done. I can see
this
the
is
sign.
going to come as a shock to no one. But Tommy was late to the show, and he missed War Games.
I actually had another commitment. I was busy.
But they did something interesting with their War Games entrance.
Okay.
They started one-on-one for 5 minutes. Then there was not a team advantage. It was literally random. Whoever was drawn, their music hit, you were in. It was not back and forth teams. It was legitimately random entry after the first 2. And I kind of like that. Right? Because we've watched War Games for a long time. It's coming up this weekend. A lot of times, although apparently in the women's on Raw it just changed, but usually the heels get the advantage. It happens a lot. This one was very random, so I think it was like a heel got in first, and then two faces got in, and it kind of went back and forth. It was not the usual. It was just kind of random, and that was very interesting. Plus, each team had a woman on their team who both did very well for themselves. JL was standing in there against the other people. Callie did some things. She was thrown around like a little bowling ball, but it was effective, like a Pokemon attack. So I'll say that. Okay, there is one thing, and I do want to say this on the air. I don't care if the Treats are watching, RCW officials. So the WrestleCast is part of the Geekcast family. The Geekcast legal team is looking into the validity of Dr. Love and his medical license, because this War Games on the Texas Treats was supposed to be J-Wave as part of the team. Well, supposedly he had an injury with a legitimate doctor's note from Dr. Love. And then all of a sudden, who did they replace? The little manager with a cane, but with the 7-foot monster Hit, who we had on this air just a few weeks ago. And he's a pretty cool dude, except for when he hit Tommy. And apparently, if you have enough money, he's down. So apparently the Treats pulled all the money out of their piggy banks. Apparently they robbed their moms and dads or something, probably their kids. I don't know. And they got...
Kelly had to.
She was no longer. She could not buy Big Red or Hot Cheetos for the whole week, and I'm sure that pissed her off.
She probably was suffering.
But they got enough money. They paid Hit, and so instead of J-Wave, you got the 7-foot monster. Living in fashion. Brandon Weiss, Angel Camacho, and JL was on the other side, and they put up a hell of a fight. Brandon Weiss. I've said this, I think, the last couple of weeks, but that guy does not get enough praise for what he does. He is one of the most versatile wrestlers. He can go with anybody. And he was, they're all working their butts off to try to get a win. But he pulled off one of the crazy spots where he put a trash can over his head, went to the top rope.
Where were you, James? The NXT parking lot?
James, what are you talking about? He walked out with the supposed injury. Were you in the back? Do you hang out with the Treats? That's kind of sus. I'm sorry, James.
In many ways.
Anyways, he put the trash can on his head and just did a trust fall from the top rope into Hit. It was a hell of a match. But yes, the Treats did get the victory. Because Marvel attacked Camacho before he entered the ring again, because apparently the only way Marvel can beat Camacho is to attack his leg before the match. But that's Tommy. You gotta mention that.
It's funny.
Yeah, I know. Angels in the comments. We said the word.
You talk about how they do the whole entrance to War Games, and I've actually thought about that with how WWE does it. They should at least snake it. Like. One team has their first advantage, the next team has the next advantage, and you kind of go back and forth at least, right?
That could be an interesting way to do it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a fantasy football draft, if you will. Just kind of snake.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I do like changing that up a little bit. It does make things a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, then after that, the Treats are in the ring, and then they're celebrating, and then Diego comes out for his match because, they put the cage up. They're not going to take it down and put it back up again. They put it up to start the show, so...
Yeah, this is
right.
We can't raise it in lower.
So Logan Pettis, I can't believe I'm about to give him credit for something because I'm going to take it away later in the show. He came out because the Treats said that they were going to stay outside the ring for Diego's cage match, and Logan Pettis decided to grow a pair and go in the ring and tell them, "No, you're not going to do that. Y'all are out of here. I don't care if y'all look at me with all these weapons." He's like, "Oh, fire and." Fine, all of y'all. He even stood up to Hit, which, kind of good for him. And so he kicked.
I did it once. I got slapped for it, but I did it once.
You don't have GM authority, so you couldn't. So then it allowed Alex and Diego to have a one-on-one cage match. Well, J-Wave was out there because apparently not only does J-Wave, who, by the way, at this point could walk normally again, weird, just saying, but not only that, but he pulled out a manager's license.
You don't need a
Which I
license
refuse
in
to believe he
Texas
actually
for that.
has. He
Jesus
printed that thing.
Well, I don't know.
I'm
When are people
I'm
gonna
sure
learn,
he
Sheldon?
faked that
When are people gonna
100%.
But anyway, Arsenal pulled it off. They did allow, it wasn't just a pin, it wasn't escape rules also. So, of course, a couple.
With the most dramatic step
Those
down
are
on
always
the floor
dramatic,
of all
aren't they?
time.
So
J-Wave did try to hit him a couple times,
that
but
one-
eventually Arsenal kicked it back on him, and he got hit again another time, which was pretty funny. So,
but I do like the escape finish on it. Diego held that title for how long? 400 plus days.
435, I believe, is the count.
And it's kind of a cool way to. He didn't get pinned to lose it. The guy escaped from a cage, and obviously cage matches are brutal. So that is really cool. It's a good way to kind of send off like the end of his title run, but still, I mean, holding a championship for that long at any level, congrats. Like, especially RCW Live, it's pretty awesome.
Yes, I will say a couple things.
Yeah.
In WWE, the Judgment Day have the tag titles. Apparently, they've only defended them once in like 4 months on TV. And
house shows.
Diego has spent a lot of RCW shows and tag matches with the Treats, not defending the belt on a show-to-show basis. So it is an impressive feat. He has run away from title matches literally into a waiting car. The Treats have attacked Arsenal. So I'm going to put a little asterisk, maybe not a Cali-sized asterisk, maybe, because there was, he had some help and things. But, yes, overall, he's an impressive wrestler, he is. But he decides to hang around and do things the way he does. So, it's hard to give him full credit there. All right, then they took the cages down after Arsenal wins. And then they said
at that point, I guess, after
kind of. They basically they brought the Treats out to the back and interviewed. And I'd also like to point out, for as much as we keep getting corrected about what happened in the original Cali versus Alejandra title match, Carolina asked Cali the exact question right off the bat. A lot of pundits, I think we may have been the people she was talking about, though, have said that you basically stole the title from Alejandra and ran away with it. Carolina asked her that right off the bat. I'm just saying. It was a question. And then we had to have like the Treats talk for a while, and Diego said some mean things about Tommy for a while, and
okay.
I mean, par for the
So
Marvel threw something in there too, but I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, no.
I'll have my vengeance someday.
But yeah, from there, they just had great match. Good.
Well, I was gonna say, well, let's put it this way: the show started at about 60 miles per hour, and then it just floored it to about 150 by the time the show was.
And now we're gonna sit now. So apparently, Brandon Oliver doesn't do match sponsorships yet. So we did wind up sponsoring. If you're watching, Casey, it was my idea. I've told him it was my idea to sponsor Jesse simply because you already had 2 sponsors. You're obviously, one of the most popular people in RCW in San Antonio wrestling at the moment, and we know we support you. But Jesse didn't have a sponsor, and we were there for y'all's first match for Jesse's first match at NostalgiaCon. We've had you both on. We had his first interview.
They revealed the match on our show, so it's been pretty awesome.
So I did tell Brandon, next year match sponsorships. Think about it, throwing it out there.
New Year's resolution.
But yes, that match. If you have title match, if you don't have title match, maybe get it for a month. Go check out that match because it was a hell of a match. And yes, I will give Pink credit here because she has said this before, and she is standing on this one. Best of 7 series. Jesse and Casey, she wants to see. It doesn't always have to be at RCW. Spread it around to United, to Baracho, to a hybrid show. Yeah,
Shit,
like
set up a ring at a softball tournament. I'll watch it. Well, my weekend. So
fundraising.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
$9.99, just like that no longer existing WWE network used
I'm
to
just
be.
gonna throw that out there. Like we had a pretty successful tournament fundraiser this past Saturday, so and brought in a lot. A lot of people come out on Thanksgiving weekend before the kids are off for a week. So yeah, maybe we'll
Hey,
just
you
take
know
that.
Marvel, so you know Don
I
Juan.
know, I know. Maybe if I could work out the
Yeah.
logistics with the Pony League, we'll see. But I don't know. We'll find
And
a way.
look, we know Hybrid's gonna get those students out there and get that ring put up real quick and
Yeah.
get everything taken care of.
Oh, as long as it doesn't conflict
And
with
then
any
tear
show
it
they
down
got
just
going
as
on.
fast.
So yeah.
Uh,
I
but
like it. Pink, ever the businesswoman, $9.99, but premium is $14.99. So yeah, I
Exactly.
like the premium package. So
And she's, I think
Oh,
she's
yeah,
including
throw it in there,
Inspire,
too.
the place for Jesse.
yeah.
And,
let Austin get a
yeah,
little taste of
and-
it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
we'll-
that's right.
we'll
I only
watch
think
out.
about it because I saw him at the United
Yeah.
yard. But
Yeah,
yeah, so a few other things.
yeah.
You know, the Phoenix champion, Emmy Camacho, they finally got to have their match, her in London. And again, great match. Emmy pulling off a little bit of a mean streak toward the end. A little bending of the
Yeah.
rules there. You know, it's probably the influence of her 37 brothers, but you know, we'll see what happens there.
JC, I told Mike one day they need to have like what Bubba Ray Dudley did to the Usos to just say, "This is for your brother, for your sister, this is for your 97 brother." And this is for the Juggernaut Angel Camacho, who I especially think sucks.
Before the show, the Pillars continued to beat up Eric Walker, and he got injured. So Danny Vintage brought out an old favorite from RCW, Luigi Primo.
Yeah, he was at a hybrid
Yeah.
show not too long ago, actually.
Yeah.
So,
And he was there, and the Pillars still beat them up, unfortunately, and continue to beat people up.
yeah.
What happened to the Camachos? I don't know. There's probably like a family reunion taking over Cowboy Stadium up in Dallas. or
Spoiler
something.
alert: they're gonna invade War Games.
No,
over
God.
this weekend. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, they are probably the only fellow that do outnumber the.
Just saying, if there's a
small
third cage
bloodline.
at War
I mean,
Games, we know there's another
let's be
bloodline
honest.
getting involved. But you know,
Right.
I'm just kidding.
And I'm just
Yeah.
saying it's going to be the Camachos. Just like
Uh,
I see Angel Camacho just like running over Roman Reigns. It'd be the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. in my life.
Continuing on, Ridley and Alejandra for the other women's title that we have going on.
Yeah, this is really getting confusing when we say the women's championship. I don't know. What
I
we're doing
won't.
anymore.
So they had another double pin situation. We were confused. We were about to ask if they were going to introduce a third women's champion, but Pink did come out and said we're not doing this again.
Okay.
So
thank
she
God, 'cause
gave-
you're running
she-
out of question marks.
She gave them 5 more.
Yeah.
She gave them 5 more minutes,
Okay.
and then guess who shows up during that 5 minutes? And I want to point something out, and Jason and Tommy will back me on this. Callie did not come down the entrance from where the stage is. She came through the main door that you come in to go into the show. She also did not jump the barricade. She literally went through it.
That's not
She
surprising.
went through the bars to get in there. I'm just wanting to point that out. She then distracts
Small and
Ridley for
tiny.
some reason, who she beat at the last
that's fun.
RCW show. I don't know why she's got beef with Ridley again, but she distracts her, and then the ref has to take care of that. And then the stankiest human being in existence, Nastico, tosses Alejandra the belt and allows Alejandra to use the belt and get the win. Yeah, James, it's really weird that you use the Ride with Ridley hashtag, which, by the way, again, my creation, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but that is the
Copyright
first
it.
sensible thing he
Right, but
said
he's
the
also a
entire night
huge
was
Cali
that.
fan, so I don't understand that, but okay, I guess. Yeah, so that happened. And then, Tommy, you're going to have to take this over because I don't even know how to explain the Lucha match. One of the craziest things I've ever seen.
No, you can never really explain
I
a lucha
love how
match.
you
It's
said
just
that-
something you have to see to believe.
I love how you said that. Like I'm gonna.
I'm
do
sorry, who
better than
has
you.
the English-related
okay.
degree between the two of us?
It's just
Fair
Spanish. You
point.
just pointed that
I
out.
respect what I said.
But yeah, I mean, a lucha, don't even bother. Just like order title match and watch it. It's Any lucha match is the only way to do it.
I'll say this. I'll say this. Pink told you what the price is earlier. Oh, that's right. Pink. She got slapped.
And then Callie valiantly jumped to oh no, she just watched it and let it happen. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Before you think Callie's on your side, keep in mind she let you get slapped first and then did nothing but look at you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Yeah.
The
anyway,
lucha match.
Okay, what was I saying? Okay, the lucha match. If you think the match is not worth the $10 to watch it, you are absolutely wrong. It is. Hold on, I think I saw somewhere. Callie sucks my soul of her really quickly.
Yeah, it is. But she likes hashtag.
So I'm on Cage Match right now, and they have the match clocked at 23 minutes and 8 seconds. 23 minutes and 8 seconds honestly feels it both did feel like that and didn't. And I mean both of those as the hugest of compliments. Because
and we will throw this in, JC. They announced at the beginning of the match out of nowhere it was 2 out of 3 falls. So we're like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
We didn't even know.
Most lucha matches are actually, so that's not surprising.
Right. But that hadn't been announced previously, so we were like, oh, cool.
Yeah. James, I'm not even a math major, and I can tell you that.
Well, James, if you're a Steiner fan, at least I'll understand. So
half is a really maybe he meant to put a fourth is a Kali.
No, because he's probably trying to go for 144 2/3%, which spells disaster for Callie at Sacrifice.
That's what it is. Okay, makes sense.
But yeah, so I legitimately thought Epi got killed because Fuego pulled off a poison Rana from the top rope, and I went like this, and I didn't move for like 30. Like he then hit another DDT, ended the match. And I stayed like this.
He hit the back.
I stayed like this for legit 2 minutes because I thought Epi might have been dead.
I've seen the videos, and it's scary. Yeah.
It is insane. Yeah, go ahead.
I told Sherry, who was the referee, because I on social media, I said that match took 30 minutes off my life. She said it added 30 minutes to hers because of the cardio she had to do. And that's when I yelled at her. The number of times I could have swore she counted 3, and here this mofo come in.
Well, at least the thing he said so far is true. Did get dropped on his head.
Yeah,
that was blown up.
But what was I saying? Epi and Fuego proved beyond a shadow of a doubt they are 2 of the best talents going in the world right now. And there is no one who could change my mind after that match. I do not care what you think of Fuego. I don't care what you think of Epi and the fact that guy's probably not even 20 yet. They pulled off one of the best matches I've ever seen. It's got to be in my top from now on because I've never seen 2 dudes pull off half stuff they were doing like in front of me like that. Like you watch it on DVDs and whatnot and streaming, but they were in front of me. I know all of wrestling happens in front of people, but that was like you were looking at them do things that gravity said you shouldn't be able to do.
Gravity's an AEW. So.
We're like that's fair. That's fair. But physics says half that match should have been impossible, but they made it happen. And there was not a dull moment in that match. Bell to bell, it was one of the best nonstop insane match I've ever seen.
No, Pink, I'm right there with you. That was insane.
I think all of us screamed when that poison Rana landed. We were like, "Oh my god!"
What? I don't know what to do with that comment.
Hard to watch anything with a mask on, but all right. So.
You don't have to wear. No, I think he's talking about he may be one of the people who was wearing lucha masks at the show, which I respect. Like I love a good lucha match, but if you can't see and you're not actually wrestling, maybe take it off.
Yeah,
just
saying. Take the mask off.
And then to finish up, Brick versus Bo was not a technical masterpiece. They decided to beat each other up, which they did.
That's it. About 30 seconds in, the wrestling portion of the
I
night was
love
entirely over.
with someone like
So,
Brick when Bo has to face someone who he can't throw around. Brick also murdered Nastico, which was kind of cool. But then an unexpected
yes,
ending.
thank God.
Angel Camacho showed up again, who obviously has huge beef with Bo and Nastico, but he attacked Brick and helped Bo win. And the only thing maybe I can think of is it's kind of like I want to take the belt from you specifically, but I don't know. Maybe Nastico had some money. I'm not really sure.
I refuse to believe Nastico has money.
I mean, he probably has money that no one wants to touch or needs to be sanitized. But
Yeah.
James, thanks for jumping in here, man. But get
Thanks
some
for
sleep.
jumping in, James. Yep.
Thanks,
Crazy
James.
getting up that early.
Yeah,
Get a little bit of
good night,
sleep, man.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, he says get
Yeah.
up at 1:30. Good Lord. Okay.
So, but yeah, it was a hell of a show. Like on top of 2 cage matches, 2 legit match of the year candidates, solid all the way across. No, it was an amazing show. It was great all the way around.
Yeah. I didn't have a voice by the time I got home. Like the fact that I have one now.
And
kind of amazing.
they
This
did
is
mention the next show is not till February.
Okay.
So I
Do you
don't
have
know
a
if
date
this,
on it yet? Or?
no, not a specific one. So
No,
I don't
not
know
yet,
if this is going to be like a late Rumble type show, if they're not going to do a Rumble type show this year. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Might be like the first weekend of February.
Could be, yeah.
Because I think that's the weekend before Super Bowl or something. Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe first or second.
But yeah, so we do unfortunately have a little break in the indie wrestling scene outside of hybrid, like we said earlier. So,
It's not a bad thing. Just get a little mental reset from it and everything. It's just a lot that goes on, So
there is. It's been a good year of wrestling here in town. Angel used to be managed by Nastico, dropped Nastico, and now he helped Nastico. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Summer 21st to 20th.
Oh, thank you, Logan.
Thank you, Logan. Thank you for clearing.
Thanks for nailing down that
Yes.
date. I mean, obviously, then that means it's not on the 29th, the 30th, or the 31st. So
yes,
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, Sean, we see the potential DFW cartel reunion, but again, this is the Texas Wrestling multiverse, so
yeah, and lest we forget, I hate the DFW cartel. Like that group, I hate them like with a fiery passion. I can tolerate them separately, except for Nastico, who I hate no matter what he's doing.
Yeah.
So,
all right. From the independents, AEW had a huge event this past weekend as well. Now I haven't gotten to watch it yet. I know Mike has gotten through all of it.
Oh no, I've only watched the main event, literally.
Okay. Tommy, have you gotten a chance to all see it? Or?
I tried, but ended up being busy all day. So I watched parts of it, not the full thing.
Well, just some highlights because there's been a lot of great videos, everything on social media regarding this show. Private Party retained the tag team championships. MJF defeated Roderick Strong. Mercedes Moné is still TBS champion.
Yeah.
Jay White defeated Hangman Page. Kyle Fletcher defeated Will Ospreay. Daniel Garcia is your new TNT champion.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Takeshita defeated Ricochet. Keep the international championship.
That should have happened.
Lashley defeated Swerve Strickland. And Moxley retained the World Heavyweight Championship over Orange Cassidy.
First of all, I do want to say they are making the Hurt Syndicate legit.
Yes.
Like they're not doing, coming right off in and beating Swerve after the year Swerve has had is impressive.
Yeah.
Shelton Benjamin, before Lashley got in, was looking amazing and reminding everyone why he's probably one of the best wrestlers of the last, like legit wrestlers of the last 20 years. Yeah, and that main event, which I did get to watch, was pretty cool. And I've seen people online going, "Oh, I was overbooked," and all the stuff that happened at the end. I'm fine with all of it, especially for the story that's being told.
I was just gonna say, I don't think AEW does a ton of overbooked like main events. So I think every now and again it's.
The
fun.
difference is their pay-per-views are few and far in between. So it's like when they put them out there, they're pretty special. Like as far as they got to put a lot of action. Like you're trying to finish storylines on some level.
Plus, I want to say this to their Death Rider storyline. I like I've said, I like Cassidy and I like Darby as kind of the two faces. a Punk Daniel Bryan at the time kind of dichotomy of the two types. But some of the other guys, like the Conglomeration, the Dark Order, don't quite feel at the level of Cesaro and Pac of like a serious fight. So if Hangman gets involved, which the way things went, he did attack Yuta, and he allowed Christian to hit the Unprettier. I forget what it's called now in AEW, but the Unprettier and that's right, because he named the dinosaur that.
Yeah.
But then Jay White stopping Christian from hitting it. Like, I wouldn't mind eventually Hangman or Jay White even being thrown into the fight against the Death Riders to give it a little more weight. Like, I know you're trying to build up the young guys of AEW, but they also they're kind of NWOing them right now. And as I said in the chat, thank you for finally bringing Willow out to have an AEW women deal with Marina Shafir, who never gets to get hit.
There you go. Who never gets to get hit. Only in wrestling does that statement make any sense.
But I haven't had a chance to go back. We'll go back and watch all of that.
Yeah.
So from what I saw, hold on, because I'm still kind of tired, so I'm just remembering the rest of the card. From the few things that I did see, some of the tag match was fun. On the pre-show, I gotta admit, I did watch a good chunk of the Big Boom AJ versus QT Marshall. That was way more fun than it had any right to be. It really was.
There's been a lot of highlights from those pre-show matches.
Yeah,
talking everything.
I mean, they're getting AEW the looks. I don't know. I'm not totally into it, but
yeah,
they're getting looks.
But to me, the thing was
you're right. You're right.
On the main show. So like, I feel like that's the other thing that you shouldn't really be so hard. Like you should like they bring it. So like, okay, first of all, literally every company has done this. Let's stop pretending like whenever the company you don't like does it, you're mad at them. So because literally every single company, I love TNA, I love ROH, they've all done it. They've all brought in celebrities. So who cares? But he was on the pre-show, so wasn't even taking up anyone's place on the main card. So,
as far as our pick results, we all went 3-1, guys. Consistent on that, yeah. Just picking the title matches there. So,
I think we all got one.
That was one. No, I got that right, but I thought Jack Perry was going to retain.
Yeah, I picked.
That's where we.
Okay. I can remember. Okay, you know what? I thought we all picked Daniel.
I went with Jack Perry, and then I had gone with Mercedes on the other one. So, interested to see where AEW goes from here. I think their next pay-per-view is Revolution, which is usually in March. Or no, they have don't they have something at the end of this year?
Well, they have the Continental Classic that's kicking off this week.
They're starting that.
Not a pay-per-view. World's End is another one they may have.
World's End, December 28th. There you go.
But the Continental Classic should be fun. They announced those brackets.
And then they're going to be involved with Wrestle Dynasty out in Japan. So that's going to be huge. The day after Wrestle Kingdom. So that is looking like it's going to be stacked event. Dare I say bigger than Wrestle Kingdom? I don't know. There's a lot of emotions involved with that.
I think that's Kenny Omega's coming back for one of those shows, right? Finally, if I remember correctly.
Wrestle Dynasty.
Yeah, let's see what they've had. They said they've confirmed the Young Bucks are in a match for that. Zack Sabre Jr. is wrestling Ricochet. Shingo Takagi or Takeshita versus Tomohiro Ishii for the Never Openweight Championship. Yota Tsuji is taking on Jack Perry. And there's going to be an International Women's Cup Fatal 4-Way. One representative from AEW, one from CMLL, one from ROH, and one from Stardom. So, and then Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd. And Shota Umino versus Claudio Castagnoli. Yeah. So, interesting.
Should be fun. So AEW's, they're looking positive. Hopefully they keep these things going and then connecting with New Japan in January. So
It's like what I said to someone the other day. It's like they're taking the criticisms and they're actually making changes.
For sure.
There you go.
All right.
All right. Well, let's move into what is going on this weekend, and we'll start with what's happening on Black Friday here. TNA Turning Point. Just going to kind of run through this pretty quickly. This is an Impact Plus event, and their first event since Bound for Glory, the first pay-per-view event. So, just real quickly here, Frankie Kazarian versus Mike Santana. No DQ match, Josh Alexander versus Steve Macklin. 6-man tag, the Hardys and Ace Austin versus the Rascals and Kushida. And then, oh Jesus, a 6-way Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl match. Now, whoever gets pinned or submitted, it's one fall, must wear a turkey suit.
That's some old school.
The participants are Joe Hendry, Eric Young, Hammerstone, Brian Myers, PCO, and John Schuyler. They can go somewhere with this. Who knows?
You can go a few places with this.
That's so random.
X Division Championship, Moose is defending against Laredo Kid. Two.
That's so.
Hey, we had to separate those two guys not too long ago.
Yeah.
No, wait. Laredo Kid was
No, Laredo Kid had to separate. Yeah.
2 out of 3 falls for the Knockouts World Championship. Master Slamovich versus Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
Well, that's another match.
And then finally for the TNA World Championship, Nick Nemeth defending against Eddie Edwards. That is what is on tap for Friday night.
So, who eventually dethrones Nemeth? Does Hendry come back around?
That's my thought.
That's what I was thinking.
Without all the shenanigans,
he's gonna come back around and do it.
Maybe it's Slammiversary or something. Who knows? I mean, I know Bound for Glory is a big event, but
Angel, they have to wear a turkey suit.
Angel.
That's a stipulation. Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to be a turkey.
So that's what they got. That'd be hilarious if it was the gobbledygooker suit. That'd be funny. Yeah.
Hilarious.
So that's what they got on tap. I think they're running a deal right now on TNA Plus. Let me pull it up here. I remember seeing something about it.
AEW is also running a deal for 2 pay-per-views or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was in my Facebook, so it might have been a scam thing, but I don't remember.
I think you're right.
I haven't seen anything yet, but for this one, you can just sign up for the $9.99 a month, which includes all Impact Plus live specials, including Turning Point, which is this Friday. So, all right. So more details on that. TNA Turning Point is Friday, November 29th at 7 p.m. Central Time. It is taking place in the Benton Convention Center in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, exclusively on Impact Plus. So
cool.
And
Sweet.
now finally,
wow.
Really, Angel?
You know what, Angel?
Damn.
Yeah, love you too.
Damn.
All right, well, let's move into Survivor Series War Games. Dare I say, it's been kind of crazy. War Games was like the real kick in the ass this pay-per-view really needed. Because there were times.
Survivor Series.
Yeah, Survivor Series.
Because for a second I was like, it's called. Okay, right.
Yeah, because it's people forget it's Survivor Series.
We're so used to War Games that Mike forgot the name.
I mean, how many years do we say, "Oh, Raw versus SmackDown"? Who gives a shit? Why is that a big deal? What is the point of you winning the Raw SmackDown Survivor Series match?
They never had the champion face the champion. That's only been done at Saudi Arabia. Remember?
Yeah, but they had the whole Team Raw versus Team SmackDown.
No, I know. I'm being
and it's kind of funny because people on social media are now like, "I miss the Survivor
supremacy.
Series traditional matches." I mean, you could still book those, but it's not going to be as fun, So, I mean,
I don't think there's the
Yeah,
characters in
War
wrestling to do those. Like those were fun in the 80s and 90s because you still had so many really character-based wrestlers, and so the teams were kind of fun and they had funny names and it's wrestling's different. I don't know if you
And
can.
sometimes a
You
good
can still have
storyline,
matches like that, right?
Yeah,
But
the whole authority versus uh, the match that Dolph Ziggler ended up like going crazy and
it
winning
was
with
Cena's team, and then he got eliminated early.
yeah, and then Sting debuted and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
yeah, there's a
then
lot of memories with that, but
the next year at WrestleMania, WWE finally won the Monday Night War 20 years later.
yeah, because NWO getting involved made absolutely no sense. Anyway,
whatsoever.
but Survivor Series has really kind of brought some new life into this. Survivor Series War Games has brought some new life into Survivor Series after being an NXT property for a little bit, and they had to move it up, and it's been great. This has been highly anticipated since WrestleMania, pretty much. Since Solo Sikoa took over the Bloodline, you kind of knew this was
Emu
coming.
Bloodline.
Yes, you kind of knew this is where they were going with this, and it's one of those like, okay, we know where this is going to go. We don't know how it's going to finish, but this is just still exciting to watch. So, but let's start breaking down the matches. So far, 5 have been announced. There's a potential that more could be announced on SmackDown.
For the record, this is the one time where it's only 5 matches, and
well,
I have no
I'm
problem
sure
with
2
it.
of them are going to take a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's why I say
We'll start with the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker is defending in a triple threat match against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Tommy, where are you going with this one?
Excuse me. Braun Breaker. I don't see any point in him losing it like this. So
All right,
I'm
Mike?
going Braun.
Same.
Yeah.
Like, I know he lost that early one to Jay, and then he got it back. Let's not start that thing. Let's not make him the Charlotte Flair of the Intercontinental title. So.
Wow.
The Charlotte Flair of the Intercontinental title was.
Yeah, you remember the year they decided they wanted her to match her dad's number of titles in like 1 year?
Yeah, I know, but it's just,
I'm
That's
sticking with
funny.
that as well. Definitely Braun Breaker. And if you're watching us along, please make your predictions. Put them in there as well. Let's see what you guys think is going to happen. So, United States Championship, LA Knight is defending against
Yeah.
Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, Tommy, this
Sorry.
debut of Nakamura, this re-debut of Nakamura, your thoughts on it?
I want to say he had a similar gimmick, or maybe he just was like everybody wore all black when I forget what was it called, the Black Savior or something like that. This looks like when he started Chaos, more or less, when Chaos was a bad guy group in like 100 years ago. I like it. I feel like they're finally giving him something to do. I mean, so sorry. Was that loud?
No,
I didn't mean
that's
for that to
all
be
right.
loud. Was that
Yeah.
loud? I think it was loud, but yeah. So they finally remembered that they have one of the best wrestlers in the world on their roster and actually give him something to do. So yeah, I'm all for this. I'm all for Dark Evil Shinsuke Nakamura because at least then he's on TV actually doing something.
Okay, so you're picking then.
You know what? I'm gonna go Nakamura. I feel like they might swerve us. With
I'm
this.
actually with you in that as well. I think the feedback has been really positive from fans on this new gimmick, and it's you gotta give Nakamura something. It would suck to debut this, and he's gonna end up losing. But
Yeah, and also if Nakamura does win, that's gonna completely add another name to who I might win the Rumble this coming year.
Mike, what about you?
So
WWE, fool me once. Shame on you. You're not going to fool me 17 more times, okay? I'm sorry. You know how we like to I'm not going to bet against a champion until they lose?
Yeah.
I'm not going to bet for Nakamura until they actually let him win a title. No,
Okay.
I'm not. I'm sorry. I've seen a re-debut of him too many times. I've seen him be a big old deal, and then he loses.
Well, maybe it's wishful thinking on our part, but I'm still going with
It may be. And if you're right, I'm not even going to be mad.
It probably is.
Because the other matches they've given LA Knight before that, like I said a couple weeks ago, they just don't feel like they're big time of any type. So,
and I guess I'm also partially biased because just the other day I rewatched the match I have of Shinsuke versus AJ Styles. Their last match.
I thought this was one of your ROH DVDs.
I don't think they face each other in ROH, huh? Now that I said that,
it's like actually
because
actually.
If they
while he's looking that up, World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther defending against Damian Priest. I'm going with Gunther to retain. Mike, what about you?
Oh, thank God they never
Okay.
face each other in the Ring of
Got
Honor. Okay,
clarification.
okay, sorry.
There's
Sorry.
a
We're
part
about
of me that kind of wants Damien to win this back,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I'm gonna have to go with my head and go with Gunther. I think it'll be a really good match. I think Damien's gonna get a couple moments where it looks like he is gonna win. Because they're kind of doing the story where Gunther's lost some of his confidence after losing to Cody, which has been interesting. But I can't see them then swerving that all the way into him losing the title at this point. So I'm going to stick with Gunther, but I kind of want to see him lose.
Okay. Tommy.
No, yeah, I'm going with Damien. I feel like he's gonna win it, and this will get him and Finn back at each other's throats. But this
That
time
could
with the
also
title
be
on the
cool.
line.
Interesting.
So I'm going that because okay. Only reason I'm saying that is because that brief little problem we saw with Judgment Day when Dominic popped up at the mouth. At
That's
Finn.
fair.
That's what I'm.
And also, Angel, that's very Ohio of
So-
you. Don't do that.
All right. On to the War Games matches. We'll start with the women. Oh, I said
Jesse, who's your
He
pick?
said Gunther right off the bat.
yeah. Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh, I said my bad. Okay. I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thought
I'm
it-
tired, y'all.
Women's War Games match: Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bailey. That's what's being listed officially. And if you don't know, yes, SmackDown has been taped, and that kind of was revealed on there. I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed. If that changes, who knows? They're going to be taking on the Judgment Day: Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, making up the Judgment Day, joined by Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. Now, there's an interesting dichotomy here. They're always teasing, is Tiffany going to cash in? Is Tiffany going to get a cash in? Could we see a cash in after War Games, win or lose, So,
No, I say during War Games.
middle of War Games?
That's actually
I mean, they
I'm
kind of
actually
teased
with
it
Mike
last
on
year with
that
Damian
one.
Priest, right? Like, it could have
Right.
happened, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I say why, like, you're running out of places to do a Money in the Bank cash in, right? Like, you've done WrestleMania a couple
Yeah,
times
you are.
now. You've done the Monday Night. Like, this would be one you haven't actually done yet.
Mhm.
Why not?
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
excuse me.
Mike, who you picking?
Well, look, you're going to throw Bailey on a team. I'm not
know.
going to choose against them. So, obviously, I got to go. Team Rhea. We'll just call it that, I guess.
Team Rhea. Okay.
Apparently, Team Muscle Mommy is not allowed, but
Why isn't Team Muscle Mommy allowed? Oh, I mean.
Tommy, what about you?
Yeah, no. Sorry, but kind of like what Mike said. Rhea, Bianca, and Naomi are on the same team, along with Io. So that's like 4 right there of like my top ever. So yeah, no, I have to pick that team. No disrespect to Nia and Raquel on the other side, but
but I also want to throw in that I want to call it Tiffany cash in during War Games.
I would love that.
So you're.
Do I get a bonus point if she does?
I mean, that could probably play into the story about why they lose, right?
Right.
Tiffany cashes in middle of War Games.
True.
So, yeah. I don't know if we'll see one during War Games. We might see one right after, but I'm gonna go with Team Liv. I guess you can say. You got 2 champions on that side.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if they win. Raquel attacks Nia.
Team
then
for
we
the
get
streets, am I right?
Yeah. Whatever.
Team-
Plus, I would love to
You called them winning, but then afterwards.
But then afterwards, I think Raquel, after they are celebrating their win, Raquel's going to blindside Nia Jax, and Tiffany's going to cash in right there.
I was kind of wondering if it was more like they see Tiffany attack her, but like no one cares about it that much since they're not really like Liv and Raquel are together. Candice is kind of on her own.
Yeah. But it's an
interesting.
attack that Nia wouldn't see coming, like,
Right.
They've been on the team, whatever, like that.
Yeah.
And there's still a little tension from what happened in Saudi Arabia between Liv and Nia. And then, Raquel's in that corner. So I could see that being where they go with this. So,
Okay.
And then finally, that leads into the men's War Games match. It is OG Bloodline plus CM Punk that was just revealed last week. Roman Reigns, the Usos, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk taking on Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga Tongaloa, and Bronson Reed. Quick note on this: it's been a year since CM Punk re-debuted in WWE. Pretty much, this is the 1 year anniversary of that, and WWE finally released the behind the scenes footage of that. Punk making his way into Gorilla,
Making his way down.
all the footage backstage from that, getting the instructions on what he was going to do, because Punk has said in interviews, I didn't even know what I was doing. They just kind of threw it out there, last minute. And even to all the congratulatory messages he was getting backstage, even to Randy Orton being like, really? You couldn't give me 10 minutes of my re-debut, my return and everything? Go check it out. I think the full video is on WWE's YouTube, but still, that being said, I am going with Team Roman on this one. I feel like, I don't know if this is going to be the end of the storyline, but maybe it's because I have the heels winning the women's. I think that the faces are going to win this one. You get Punk and Sami Zayn. The crowd is going to be behind them huge. And if I'm not mistaken, so Koa's team won in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah.
So I got to go with Team Roman to win this one.
And they pinned Roman, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
yeah, Solo did.
I don't know if they'll pin anyone on the actual bloodline. Maybe Bronson Reed is the one that takes the pin, but I'm going to go with Team Roman for this. Tommy, what about you?
Yeah, Team Roman. I don't see why they shouldn't win and have the new bloodline start to crack and just finally have Jacob Fatu just finally lose his mind, because that whole ominous line of "there's a reason we stayed away from them," that was not lost on me. I'm like, nope.
It's kind of a hidden line. Jay has said, like, there's a reason we didn't bring Jake into this, right? So yeah.
Yeah. And if he keeps staring like that, I'm gonna knock his ass.
Mike, what about you?
I love that line.
So first of all, I have some breaking important news to throw in here real quick. Apparently Vanessa Hudgens was at WWE Raw, and I did not see this, so guess I'm gonna have to go back and watch Raw soon. But and she acknowledges Roman as the OTC, so I guess in honor of Vanessa Hudgens, I'm gonna go Team Roman.
Okay.
She was going to be the real fifth person until CM Punk said,
well, she also just had a baby this past year, so maybe not quite yet ready. No, but in all seriousness, same thing. Like, you're gonna throw Punk on there. Plus, I feel like, again, one of Triple H's strengths, at least, is doing some long-term booking and stories that kind of interconnect to each other. So I feel like CM Punk helping Team Roman win will frustrate Rollins because, he was another one of those who didn't want to see the good in Roman. Well, I don't know if Roman's changed, but, he remembers what Roman was. Yeah. He doesn't trust him.
He doesn't trust Punk.
Right. And he doesn't. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. So then Punk going and helping Roman, I feel like that maybe adds a little bit to their feud. So yeah, I'm going to go with Team Roman. I don't think it's going to hurt Solo's team, if like Tonga Loa takes a pin or something, and then Tama can do his little hyena thing or whatever. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Bernsey, you got all the info. So he was at WrestleMania too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to go to WrestleMania next year.
Wow.
He's also picking Team Roman. So yeah.
Yes, sir, Bernsey.
All right. Nice. Survivor Series War Games Saturday, November 30th at 5 p.m. Central Time. Early start time on Saturday. I think there's a UFC event that night, which is probably why. We forget they're the same company now. So UFC starts at 9 p.m. on their pay-per-view, so they want you watching both. Starting at 5 p.m. Central Time from the Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. In the U.S., exclusively on Peacock. Everywhere else on Netflix or WWE Network for the end of the year, pretty much. So, all right, and with that, we can move into our 1 minute warning segment here. Mike, do you have something this week?
I do.
All right, whenever you're ready, sir, go for it.
So, the three of us here and several other people in the chat, we have been wrestling fans for a long time. And there have been a lot of things that have made it hard to justify being a wrestling fan over time. This past weekend, after some, something unfortunate happened to a friend of ours in the chat here, Angel. But what I want to say is the way that the wrestling community stepped up to support, show love, the people at Hybrid, the people at RCW, Thunder Rosa, a whole bunch of talent from MPW that stepped up and showed love, support, shared things. It really made me proud to be a part of this community. There are some really good people. I know a lot of those stories are yours to tell, Angel. But I was telling the guys earlier, there is someone at Hybrid who is so good at being a heel and healing it up, and then saw them just be one of the most genuine, caring person Saturday night. So, I just really made me proud to be a part of this community that helped me with something not so tragic, but I was not in a great place a couple years ago, and it's been a big help to me. So I'm, happy to see that, and just again, Angel, we're here for you through all this if
For
you
sure.
need something. So
For sure.
Absolutely.
Listen, Mike. Tommy, you got something this week?
Oh yeah.
Go for it, sir.
So after seeing again two of the best matches of the year in one night at one show, and the weekend before that, just seeing wrestlers just tear it up on the cards, top to bottom. Just stellar show after stellar show. Pro wrestling is doing awesome. So for those of you who get caught up in the negativity, a friend of mine legitimately was talking to me about this the other day because like he doesn't like the hypocrisy of the tribalism. Like for those who get caught up in the negativity, sometimes you just gotta tune them out and remember that wrestling's in a fantastic place right now. Even if it's in a company you don't like, there's still great wrestling out there. Even if it's in a company that you're not a fan of, you can not be a fan of AEW. They still got great wrestling on there. You cannot be a fan of WWE. They still got great wrestling on there. And I don't know why you wouldn't be a fan of TNA because they've been solid for the past 5 to 6 years at least. But whatever, do you? But great wrestling has been all over the place. You got companies like GCW and everyone on the IWTV or Title Match Network all killing it. So yeah, man, you don't want to ignore the negativity. Just watch the great wrestling, man. And again, and also. If Fuego and Epi and Casey and Jesse don't have rematches on national TV with those matches in the next 3 to 4 years, that proves that there is something fundamentally wrong. Just gonna throw that out there. So for all the good things I said about wrestling, if those matches don't happen on a TV screen, that's bad. That's bad. Okay.
All right. For me, I just want to say, this is that time of year where, at least in this country, we're always saying things we're thankful for, and I'm thankful for really just the community support on this. For Mike and Tommy, you guys have like really taken off this past year or two, with this interviews, stuff for the show, getting it out there, and for everyone involved with the Geekcast as well, the Geeks Network. It's been amazing. Obviously, I try to be involved. I try to get to as many shows as I can, but youth sports coach, it's a wild thing, and it's got a lot. It's demanding, but it's so rewarding too at the same time. So, but thank you guys. I'm thankful to you guys. I'm thankful to everyone who comes on and chats with us, who comes and says hi at the shows, supports us in any way. Thankful to all. And the fans are a big reason why wrestling is so successful in this town. But let's not forget all the wrestlers, the staff at these shows that put in a lot of work to make it what it is, to give us a reason to talk about it, to come back. Congrats to everybody on all their success this past year. I feel like San Antonio wrestling has grown so much this year, as if it didn't need to grow enough, right? And it's been pretty awesome to watch and be a part of in some way. So thank you, everybody, for that.
And I'm just saying, if your kids weren't so good at what they do, you'd be able to go to the show and be like, oh, they have to be good
Hey,
athletes and talented, and they have to work hard.
we had
Whatever,
I'm not.
dude.
I'm not saying U Sports isn't without its own drama. I have said, God, you could make a reality show for some of the things that go on, but in
I'm saying
its
let's make
ways,
this
its ways
money.
have
I'm
a lot of
kidding.
life lessons as well. So that's been pretty cool. So
And also add to that, all you guys in the chat, most of you that we've known from shows, but you regulars, Bernsey,
Yeah.
Angel, Jason, James, Sean,
Yeah.
everyone who jumps in here on a regular basis and
Mhm.
and chats with us and makes this fun and
Fink, who's one of our favorite people, and Logan Pettis, who we tolerate on a
Casey jumps in
semi-regular
here at
basis.
least once a night in between training at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to all you guys. We are thankful for you.
So what is
Please-
happening this weekend? Well, obviously Thanksgiving is Thursday, but Friday, Black Friday, aka the Purge. Be careful out there if you're shopping. It says TNA Turning Point.
I almost
That's
didn't
what I
even
call it
notice
every
you
year.
called
TNA
it
Turning
that.
Point. That needs to be the next Purge movie. I'm just throwing it out there. TNA Turning Point Friday, November 29th at 7 p.m. Central Time from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, exclusively on Impact Plus. And Survivor Series War Games Saturday at 5 p.m. Central Time from the Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada on Peacock. Next week, we will recap everything that's taking place this weekend and preview NXT Deadline. I believe it's the last NXT event of the year. So
Yeah, they've got that Survivor challenge thing.
Iron Survivor or something like that's what they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be fun to watch. What we gotta check.
Angel and Jason,
Yeah, thanks guys. So now I heard something pop in, which usually means Ted is sneaking around the background. So I don't know if he's
Oh,
gonna
no.
be
I don't
playing
know.
something here or what's going on. So
let's see what picture he created.
If Ted is there, I have to send
Well,
him
he's
the
under- He's
my
under your
punishment.
name.
before we do go, he wanted to we all wanted to share a special Thanksgiving message from all of us here at the Countdown City WrestleCast. Here we go. Okay.
Okay.
Can we stop this?
Okay. First of all, who told y'all my forks were that big? Because I mean, accurate, but who told y'all?
Why is
I'm
my
just trying
pie
to
so
who dined
small?
me out?
How do we get this thing turned off? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Let's see here. Oh,
Ted, you ruined everything. All right.
that's right. I got it. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh.
That was
Yeah.
pretty good. That was pretty good.
I don't know where he comes up with this stuff or how he has time to put these together. But yes, happy Thanksgiving from everybody here at the Countdown City WrestleCast.
Also,
Yes.
can we just go ahead and change ourselves to the Countdown City Metalcast? Because I get in the mood with this music
I-
now.
Don't know. It's too much metal. It's our homage to Gregory James, I guess.
All right. I'll buy a wig. Get some dark eyeliner.
Sheldon, what do you think?
Yeah,
We'll
just
go.
talk to Brendan.
No, okay. He's not impressed.
I don't need Brandon's help to do all
Yeah.
that. Are you kidding me? I was the only black guy for years who shot the hot topic and admitted to it out loud.
All right. Well, over here we got Tommy. We got Big Mike.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other. Excuse me.
And I'm JC. As always, heels and baby faces. Remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are
People
fake.
are fake.
Enjoy
Boom.
War Games,
Yeah,
everyone. We'll
boy.
see you next week.
War games.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Adios. Dun, 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 dun. You trying to throw the metal in there too?